China is dumping tremendous amounts of steel into our country. The government is subsidizing it. It's almost like they want us to just die. And they have no respect for us. Their leaders are really smart. They're really cunning. They're really sharp. And we have dummies, right? We have dummies. We have dummies. We have people that don't have a clue.
I heard about our latest offer to China, and all I could think about is how the invitation would read. Dear China, you are cordially invited to join us in joint naval exercises off Hawaii next year. I mean, what is the next line? Be there or be square? Please RSVP whenever you can. We don't want to push in anything. That announcement going out days ahead of both the presidents of China and the United States sitting down and slap dab in the middle of an escalating hacking scandal and now potentially a trade scandal as well, as Beijing plays cozy with Iraq and its oil and virtually every major Caribbean nation that has its hand out for Chinese money, and a lot of it, to retired Navy Admiral James Lyons on why playing nice with China doesn't always mean making progress with China. But man, oh man, I was looking at all of this, Admiral, and I started saying, we're playing the same old games. We're back to that. What do you make of it?
Well, we got to step up and realize we're in our second Cold War with another communist totalitarian regime. And that's what President Obama needs to make clear in his meeting in California with the Chinese president. He's got to show the leadership that has been lacking up to this point.
What does he do, though? The argument has always been, as you know, Admiral, that we feel indebted quite literally to the Chinese because they buy so much of our debt, and we don't want to, get them annoyed at us because maybe they'll stop doing that. I've never bought that because I don't know where else they could go. Secondly, I believe that they need us a lot more than we need them, but I don't want to go down that side road there. But I will say that we are always on defense. Why?
Well, first of all, I don't understand, Larry, why everybody is shocked on this hacking issue. It's 21st century spying. It's gone on for a millennium. It's going to continue to go on. The Chinese, of course, in their meeting in California will agree to a further meeting and set up some principles on cyber warfare. But what will it mean? Absolutely nothing. Except we would abide by the principles, the Chinese won't, and it would be to our net disadvantage.
So we're really at loggerheads here, right? I mean, now we're going to do these joint exercises. What do we get out of China doing joint exercises with us? A sort of an understanding we won't kill each other?
Let me tell you what it does for China. With all their hacking and their penetration of our intelligence, defense agencies, what it will prove is that the intelligence that they've been able to gather surreptitiously, they can now check in our actual operations in Hawaii. This makes no sense to me at all. When I was Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, it would have been like me inviting the Soviets to participate in our exercise to show them all our coordination, communication, and how we operate. Wow. This makes no sense.
Could you flip it around, Admiral? Do we get anything out of it to spy on their stuff?
They're not going to show us anything. They'll have umpteen political commissars on their ships to participate. They will be copying down everything we do. What we need to do is really get serious here. First of all, we need to tell China, look, you've built the Navy specifically to go against the United States Navy. Your anti-ship ballistic missile is not geared to go against the Bangladesh Navy. And we need to tell them that we consider this an unfriendly act. Furthermore, let's be upfront here. China has 3,000 miles of underground reinforced tunnels for their nuclear strategic intercontinental ballistic missiles. General Ursin, who was the former director of Russia's strategic forces, told me they estimate that China has at least 1,800 warheads. And we want to go ahead and further reduce our warhead inventory and put our national security at risk. This is nonsense. What President Obama should make clear to the Chinese president, we're going ahead with the modernization of our nuclear infrastructure and developing new warheads, and that's how he will start to raise deterrence.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that, Admiral.
Well, we need to make sure that the American people need to send the message, do it through Congress. And we also need, we have to develop a very complete offensive and defensive cyber warfare plan, which will then actually hold our companies who fail to comply and when they find they've been penetrated and don't put in place the necessary firewalls and protection to protect that sensitive technology and information. They have to have their contracts rescinded, and they need to be fined.
All right, well, Admiral, you make way too much sense, but it's always good seeing you, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Meanwhile...
To the rub after the snub. China does not roll out the customary red carpet staircase for the president, forcing him to use the emergency exit, and Donald Trump doesn't waste a minute noticing it.
You know, it's interesting with the president, because I saw that yesterday with the stairs. He went to Saudi Arabia, and the top people didn't greet him, right? He went to Cuba, and Castro, the brother, was not there to greet him. And I said to myself, you know, if that happened, I'd land. I'd hear he's not there to pay respect to the country, not to him, to pay respect to our country. I would say, thank you very much, fellas. That's okay. Close it up. Boom. Let's go back to Washington. I won't.
美国总统选举是美国的内政，我们对当前选举的情况不做评论。需要指出的是，中美经贸合作其本质是互利共赢，符合双方的共同利益。我们希望美国各界人士理性、客观地看待这一关系。
Because we can't continue to allow China to rape our country, and that's what they're doing.
So has computer warfare finally become a reality between the world's two most powerful nations? Chinese hackers have long been accused of targeting American companies. But tonight, China is lashing out against reports that those hackers may be working for the Chinese military, the Chinese People's Liberation Army, and they may have key American infrastructure in their crosshairs. Things like the power grid, and oil pipelines, and air traffic control. Military involvement would bring the cyber threat to a whole new level, and it's something U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta warned about late last year.
The collective result of these kinds of attacks could be a cyber Pearl Harbor, an attack that would cause physical destruction and the loss of life, an attack that would paralyze and shock the nation and create a new profound sense of vulnerability.
In other words, war. It's long been suspected that the United States has itself launched cyber attacks, particularly on Iran's nuclear program. But in a major report, the New York Times now links China's People's Liberation Army to dozens of cyber attacks against the United States. The report traced the hackers to the doorstep of this building, a 12-story office tower in Shanghai that's the headquarters of Military Unit 61398. It's a name worthy of a spy novel, and is suspected of being ground zero for a growing army of Chinese cyber warriors. The Chinese government hotly denies this report, tossing the ball right back into America's court. Making baseless accusations based on premature analysis is irresponsible and unprofessional, says China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 14 million Chinese computers were attacked by 73,000 IP addresses from abroad. Most of those cyber attacks came from the United States. Now, be that as it may, according to the Wall Street Journal, China launches more cyber attacks than any other nation. Just behind them, the United States and Russia. Let's turn to David Sanger. He's the author of the New York Times report, and he joined me earlier from Harvard University. David Sanger, welcome to the program.
Good to be back with you, Christiane.
And an amazing story you've got on the front page of the New York Times. I mean, in a nutshell, all of these suspicions that we've had about cyber attacks and cyber warfare, you know, stealing trade secrets and all the rest of it, now you're saying that a new group has traced it back, what, conclusively to the Chinese army?
I would say that they have made a very strong circumstantial case that it is coming from a PLA unit called 61398 that's located in a 12-story building in Shanghai. My colleague David Barboza wrote the story with me along with Nicole Poroff. He went out to the building last week. It dominates sort of rundown neighborhood in Shanghai. Got thousands of people working in it. The group that did the trace back of the attacks done by a group called Comet Crew, which is probably one of the largest of the Chinese hacking groups, they were able to take most of the digital forensics right back to the gates of this building. They couldn't take it inside for all kinds of reasons we describe in the story, but if it's not coming from this building, then you've got to believe it's coming from the noodle shops and restaurants that surround this building.
So, David, you know, you've got Comet Crew, it's otherwise known as the Shanghai Group. You've just said the name of the unit, 61398 or whatever it is. It sounds like a very intense spy novel.
Tremendous amounts of steel into our country. The government is subsidizing it. It's almost like they want us to just die. And they have no respect for us. Their leaders are really smart. They're really cunning. They're really sharp. And we have dummies, right? We have dummies.
You are cordially invited to join us in joint naval exercises off Hawaii next year. I mean, what is the next line? Be there or be square? Please RSVP whenever you can. We don't want to push in anything. That announcement going out days ahead of both the presidents of China and the United States sitting down and slap dab in the middle of an escalating hacking scandal and now potentially a trade scandal as well, as Beijing plays cozy with Iraq and its oil and virtually every major Caribbean nation that has its hand out for Chinese money and a lot of it. To retired Navy Admiral James Lyons on why playing nice with China.
We have dummies. We have people that don't have a clue.
I heard about our latest offer to China, and all I could think about is how the invitation would read. Dear China.
China is dumping tremendous